Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am coming at you peak first time mom. I am kind of a hot mess right now. I'm actually filming this for the second time because apparently my camera was just not recording the entire 15 minutes I was talking to you guys, so that's fun. I also haven't had a chance to wash my hair, and so I'm hoping this kind of cute little hairdo hides the fact that I have about a pound of dry shampoo in my head. I am wearing a pajama shirt because I didn't get a chance to change before filming this video, and I have Stella Belle, who was sleeping nicely through the video, who is now awake in her bouncer right next to me, that I'm hoping can cooperate and stay nice and happy while I refilm this. I have my second cup of coffee right next to me, and I have a couple notes on the last month with Stella on my phone, but for the most part, I'm just going to be winging this. So yeah, I feel like I am a perfect embodiment of what life is like with a 2-month-old. Alright, so I'm going to start off with Stella's stats at 2 months old. She was 8 pounds and 10.75 ounces on the 18th, which is when she turned 2 months old. This puts her in the second percentile, so she is still a teeny tiny little peanut. I was also really small as a baby though, and so I'm pretty sure she just gets that from me. And then she is 22 inches long, which puts her in the 26th percentile, so she is just a long, skinny little string bean. And her head circumference, let's see, when we took her to the doctor on the 19th, was 37.6 centimeters, which is, what percentile is that? Looks like it's the 27th percentile, I believe. So yeah, that is all of her stats at 2 months old. She has been doing so well this past month. We absolutely love having her in our lives, and it has just been so much fun kind of really seeing her start showing her personality and interacting with her environment over this last month. She's definitely kind of starting to grow out of that, you know, super newborn lump stage and really being more alert and, you know, kind of interactive with us and her, you know, surroundings. And so that has just been super fun to get to know her in that way. She also went through her first 2 leaps in this last month. And if you are unaware of the Wonder Weeks, it's this app and a book that kind of shares developmental leaps that your baby goes through based off of their due date. And these leaps are basically, like I said, leaps in their development when their brains go through, you know, extreme growth, I guess. And they're marked by these fussy periods when the baby starts experiencing all these new sensations in their world around them, and their brains are making all these new connections. And so they get a little overwhelmed and overstimulated. Well, I don't know overstimulated, but they get, you know, kind of overwhelmed and fussy during this period. And then after the fussy period is done, they usually have these new skills because their brain has been growing, obviously. And yeah, so she had leap 1 and leap 2 in this past month, and leap 1 was definitely a little more difficult for Stella. It's the app said that it's definitely one of the more difficult leaps because it's the baby's first, and so they're just, you know, so not used to these huge developmental leaps in their brain and this new experience surrounding them, and so it can be very intense for them. It was only 3 days it lasted for Stella, her fussy period, from November 24th to the 27th. And she definitely was a lot fussier than normal. She kind of just wanted to be constantly interacted with and entertained, and lots of cuddles and snuggles. She was very clingy during that time. I did lots of baby wearing and lots of, you know, just holding her all day long. She wanted to be kind of held and comforted and loved on all day long, which you can't blame them. They, you know, are just very overwhelmed with their new crazy world around them, and so we just spent a good couple of days comforting and loving on her. And it definitely was really nice having the Wonder Weeks app, kind of knowing that A, it wouldn't last forever, and B, that there was a reason for her fussiness, and so it definitely helped her dad and I kind of cope with this all of a sudden fussiness, because we knew it was happening for a reason, and that it was, you know, developmentally normal, and that it wasn't going to last forever. And so I highly recommend looking into Wonder Weeks if you are a parent. It is a really awesome tool to have to understand your baby's development. So like I said, after the leaps, they generally have new skills that they can display, and the first major thing that we noticed with Stella was she started playing with the toys on her playmat. We have the Love Every playmat, and she particularly really liked the wooden clacker bell toy that dangles from the top of the playmat, and she would start to kind of reach for and bat at that, and she really likes it. She can't make the clacky sounds yet, but like I said, she can kind of hit it to make the bell ring, and she really likes that one. It's still her favorite toy to this day. I forget exactly what day she started. Oh, actually, I have it written down. November 24th. So right at the beginning of that leap is when she started doing that, and she's just done that more and more. That toy is still her favorite toy. She loves hitting at it and playing with it. She's really sound motivated, and so she really likes hearing different bells and different, like, the crinkle paper. She's really been enjoying that. And so, yeah, that's been really fun to kind of help her experience and just hear a bunch of different things in her environment and see her learning about that and just being so fascinated by different sounds has been really amazing. And then we could also see her starting to try to smile after leap 1. She didn't actually get her first real big smile until December 8th, and it was just the best thing in the world. But leading up to that, after leap 1, we could kind of see her starting to work on it. She would get tiny little, you know, like muscle pulls at the corner of her mouth while she was awake. Obviously, she had been doing like the big smiles in her sleep, but those aren't like, those are different kind of smiles than actual social smiles. So she didn't get her first intentional social smile, like I was saying, until the 8th. And she was kind of just working on it for a couple of weeks. And her dad and I were definitely just like waiting for it and waiting for it. And when she finally smiled real big, it was just amazing. We were both there, which is awesome because my husband obviously works full time. And so we were really hoping that he would be here when she had her first smile. And she was so cooperative and just waited until both her mommy and daddy were right there and had her first big smile. So that was incredible. And she's definitely her happiest and most smiley now in the morning. She is an incredible sleeper, which we love, and so she wakes up really nice and refreshed in the morning and is a very happy baby. And so that has kind of turned me into more of a morning person out of necessity, because kind of as the day goes on, she just gets a little, I guess, needier and just needs more attention and direct focus to kind of keep her happy. And so I kind of let her have some independent playtime in the morning while I try and get most of my stuff done, because she's happy to just kind of, you know, lay on her playmat and entertain herself, which is also, you know, necessary for her to develop confidence on being, you know, on her own, entertaining herself on her own. And so that's kind of how things have worked out for us. And then she had leap 2 shortly after she showed her first big smile. I had it down that she started on December 10th. That one was definitely less extreme. She was slightly more fussy, slightly needier, and wanting more attention. The one thing I really did notice with her was she kind of just wanted to nurse constantly and just kind of use me as a pacifier. And so I kind of just had to sit in this glider all day long, basically, and let her just nurse consistently. But other than that, she was mostly normal. And so much so that I don't even know when that stormy period ended, because it just wasn't as intense as the first one, which obviously we were very grateful for. Another thing she does during her stormy periods is sleep more, which is very nice, because the app said that sometimes babies sleep less during these stormy periods. So I really appreciate that she sleeps more, working on that growing brain. She is a very, very good sleeper, and basically has been from the time she's born. Now I definitely follow her kind of cues for setting up her schedule. I say that with quotes because you can't really have a schedule with a baby at this age. They're just too young. But I kind of just follow her lead on when she wants to, you know, sleep and nap and how she wants to set up her schedule. She has kind of made 11 o'clock her bedtime. And so normally she goes down around then. I do nurse her to sleep still at this point. And I usually will nurse her 1 to 2 times. So I'll nurse her the first time and she'll sleep for maybe 20 minutes. And then she'll kind of wake up and feed on the other side, and then go back down for her first long stretch of the night. And that usually lasts somewhere around 6 to 9 hours, depending on the night. For particularly eventful days prior, she'll usually have a longer stretch. So for example, after Thanksgiving, I believe she slept for 9.5 hours for her first night, or her first stretch of the night. And yeah, like I said, she'll sleep for a nice big long chunk up front, and then she'll wake up, we'll change her, I'll feed her, and I'll put her right back down. And she'll sleep again for another couple of hours. And depending on how long her first stretch was, like if it was, you know, a 9-hour stretch, she'll probably go down for only another couple of hours, then wake up for the day. But if it was a shorter stretch and she woke up earlier, after maybe 5 or 6 hours, she'll, you know, go back down and sleep for a couple hours, wake up, eat again, and then I'll put her back down. So she normally gets on average 12 hours total overnight, but just kind of depending on 1 or 2 wake ups, depending on how long that first stretch was, basically, which I know is absolutely incredible, and her dad and I are so grateful and thankful for that, because neither of us function very well. I mean, obviously no one functions very well on limited sleep, but I particularly before baby would regularly get 10 hours of sleep, and less than that I would feel not like myself. And so that was the one part of parenting that I was really nervous about, because I really don't function well on low sleep. And so I'm really grateful to Stella that I don't even feel like we have that new parent sleep deprivation, because we just get so much sleep. So very thankful for that. All right, let's see, what else? She is still being cloth diapered. We exclusively cloth diaper. We're using the Alva Baby newborn diapers still with, during the day we do microfiber and the Alva Baby, I believe, 4-layer bamboo inserts, and then at nighttime we use microfiber and the Thirsties hemp inserts, and that's been working really well for us. I absolutely love cloth diapering, and it's really, if you are kind of considering it but you're a little intimidated, I wouldn't be. I would go for it, because it's definitely it's really easy, honestly. I thought it would be a little more difficult for me, and I was a little afraid, especially about having to kind of like wash the diapers every 2 to 3 days depending on the size of your stash, but I haven't found it to be a pain really at all. Yeah, it's super easy, and I absolutely love it. I love how much money we're saving. I love how much good we're doing for the environment. I love that I know that I'm not putting any yucky chemicals on my baby's, delicate skin, and yeah, I love it. Not to mention, she just looks so freaking cute in her little cloth diapers and her little fluff butt. I love it. I love it so much. She also had her 2-month checkup on the 19th, so the day after she turned 2 months, and she got her first round of vaccines, which she was so brave when she got the shots. So she took 1 oral vaccine and got 1 shot in one leg and 2 shots in the other leg. And she only cried for, under a minute after the shots. She did really well. She was really brave. So we were super proud of her for that. And then she got home, and she was good for a couple hours. She slept for a good 2 hours when we got home. Normally she takes kind of half-hour cat naps throughout the day and maybe takes 1 long nap. And so she took that long nap when we got home, and she woke up and she was fine for maybe another hour, and then after that she started to really not feel good. I could tell she was just really fussy, and so for the rest of the day we literally just parked ourselves in the glider, and I just kind of constantly nursed her whenever she wanted, and between nursing she would fall asleep and she would kind of wake up whimpering and crying, and you could tell she just really didn't feel good. And so that's why I just was letting her nurse as much as possible. Normally she goes around 2 hours between feedings pretty consistently, but we just threw the schedule out the window for that day. Not that I make her stick to a schedule on any other day. We feed on demand, but on demand it's usually pretty scheduled like that. But yeah, she just was not feeling good, and I felt so bad. It was just breaking my heart, the little whimpers every time she woke up. And so eventually we did end up I took her temperature, and it was 104 or 100.4, and so Miles picked up some infant Tylenol on his way home. That's what the pediatrician recommended we do if she spiked a small fever. And so yeah, she took that when he got home and pretty much instantly felt better. She was like a nice, happy, smiley baby and was completely back to normal, and so that really helped. And we were very happy about that. And then the next morning she woke up and was completely back to normal. Her legs didn't even seem sore anymore. The day of the shots, they definitely seemed a little sore, so whenever we would kind of move her legs or change her diaper, you could tell her legs were sore. But the next day she was completely back to normal, and yeah, so we were happy that that was very short-lived. Breastfeeding is also going really well. I am exclusively breastfeeding. She hasn't had any formula yet, thankfully, especially with her weight. It was definitely, a concern of mine that we would have to start supplementing to make sure she was gaining weight, but her pediatrician isn't concerned. We do have an extra weight check between her 2-month and 4-month appointment just to make sure that she, is still gaining on her own little curve. Like I said, I think this time that I was filming, but like I said, this is my second time doing it. I was also a teeny tiny little baby, and so we're pretty sure it's just, genetics. She's still very healthy. Obviously, she's been checked out by the pediatrician, and there's no concerns, but just to make sure she is still gaining that weight, because she is kind of teetering on, if she stops, it could, be not good. And so we have that extra weight check. But yeah, other than that, she eats a ton. She eats every 2 hours during the day, and usually she just will eat from one side, but occasionally over the last, I would say, week or so, she has started to drain one side and need to be switched to the other side because she's still hungry, and so that's kind of something new that she's been doing. I did stop using the Haka to catch my letdown every day. I was doing that almost every single day in the first month, and that's how I built up my initial freezer stash. But I just kind of, I don't know, I stopped doing that. I don't know if my letdown is less than it was or what, but I just feel like I don't know, I just stopped doing it. But I actually, within the last week, decided to start kind of pumping. I think what I'm going to do is pump every other day at this point, and I'm going to do one pumping session in the morning while she's doing her feed after the long stretch, because I have found, obviously, after having that long stretch of sleep, I can get pretty engorged, and if she doesn't eat from both sides, then like it's still very uncomfortable for me. And so what I'm going to do is pump from one side while she feeds from the other. And I've done that once so far, and I was able to get 4 1/4 ounces out of that, you know, one side. And so I think that'll be kind of good to keep up my freezer stash. We do try and give her a bottle once a week just so she stays consistently used to it. So Miles also gets that experience with being able to feed and bond with her in that way. And so if for whatever reason she has to be away from me, or I have to stop breastfeeding, if I have to, you know, I don't know, something happens, she'll be able to eat. And so she has taken a bottle like a champ. I'm pretty sure I talked about this in my last update with her, because we gave it to her before her 1 month milestone, but she takes pretty much any bottle we throw at her. She didn't like the Spectra bottle that came with the pump, but we used the Komotomo bottles and the Nano Bebe bottles, and both of those she has absolutely no problem eating from, which is just really great. And so I've been able to, you know, for example, on Thanksgiving and now Christmas is coming up, I'm able to, you know, enjoy a glass of wine or something when we're doing celebrations with family, and Miles can feed her the bottle. Oh, another thing I don't think I mentioned in my first update that I actually asked about at our 2-month checkup, because I think it popped up after her 1 month. I'm not quite sure. I don't exactly remember, but it definitely was not there when she was born. But she has a tiny little hemangioma on her left calf. It's about, I don't even know, like it's just the tiniest little, it looks kind of like the size of a mole, but it's bright red because it's not a mole. And so I asked the doctor what it was, and she said it's a hemangioma. And I actually already watched a bunch of videos by, shoot, what's her name? Shannon Rose. Her daughter Snow has a hemangioma on the top of her head, and so I already knew as soon as she said it's a hemangioma that it's nothing to worry about. It's just like a bundle of, now I'm going to completely forget what it is. I think it's just like a bundle of blood vessels or something under the skin, and it's completely benign. It'll go away, and she said it should get its biggest before she turns 1 year, and then it'll slowly go away over the next couple of years. And yeah, it's nothing to worry about. I wasn't really concerned about it. I was just, you know, curious and wanted to bring it up to the doctors just to get confirmation. I definitely kind of operate on the belief of not really better safe than sorry, but just there's no too small question just to bring up to the pediatrician, because again, even if it's something that you don't know is, you know, it seems like it's not a huge deal, it could be, or, you know, it's just might as well ask and put your mind at ease. And yeah, so that's kind of what I've been operating on. And I have a note in my phone that, you know, throughout the time in between our pediatrician appointments, I'll just kind of throw on any little questions that we have or want to bring up to the doctor and just kind of see what she has to say about it. So yeah, but I also definitely haven't been as anxious of a parent as I thought I would be. I have anxiety, and so I was thinking that it would kind of spike once I became a parent, but I just feel really comfortable and really confident in my parenting skills and decisions, and yeah, so I'm surprisingly much less anxious than I was anticipating, and I don't really, you know, worry easily with her. And so I'm pretty grateful for that, because I definitely could have easily become an extremely anxious parent. So I am sure everyone, including my husband, is very appreciative that that did not happen, because I also know that postpartum depression can also exhibit as postpartum anxiety. And so yeah, I'm really thankful that I haven't currently. I know it can pop up a couple months after you give birth, but as of now, I haven't experienced any postpartum, you know, depression, anxiety, rage. I think can also be a thing, because hormones are a crazy thing, but so far everything along those lines have been a very smooth sailing for me, which I'm extremely grateful for. And I think that's pretty much all I have to share with you guys this time around. If you have any questions for me about, you know, Stella or, you know, motherhood or anything along those lines, definitely feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will either answer them in the comments or in my next update with Stella. And yeah, she is awake and happy now, so I'm gonna pop her out of her bouncer and bring her up to share with you guys so you can see how she's looking at 2 months old. Oh, come here, sweetie. Hello. Yes. Do you want to say hi? You want to say hi to YouTube and show them how adorable you are? She has amazing head control and is still super, super strong. Like, she can basically, I don't know if she can do it. Yeah. She's basically standing on her own right now on my legs. She just loves to be stood up like this and being able to, you know, like look around and see the world around her. And she's like completely holding her head up on her own at this point and is just such a strong little baby. Mwah. Yes. Are you a strong baby? So yeah, this is what Stella's looking like at 2 months. Like I said, still a teeny tiny little peanut. I hope you can kind of see her in the camera. I can't really see what you can see, but yeah. Getting lots of comments that she looks like me. She still has blue eyes. She's starting to get lots more hair on the top of her head. She definitely had a huge bald, like, little top of her head for a while and just kind of had hair on the sides and back. But we got some cute little soft peach fuzz growing in now, and it's looking like it's going to be blonde. And her eyes are definitely still blue, and I love her blue eyes. They're so beautiful. She has my nose, everyone says. And she got some big old cheeks. Yeah, we got the big old cheeks. Can we get a smile for the camera? That would be nice. What do you think? Can we get a nice big smile for the camera? Mwah. Oh, Mom got lipstick on you. I'm sorry. Yes. I know. Mom's not used to having makeup on when she's kissing on you. Yeah. Say hello, YouTube. Hello. Not sure we're going to get a smile right now, but yeah. This is Stella Noel, and I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about life with her over the past month and watching my baby girl grow. I just cannot believe it's already been 2 months. It feels like, one side feels like, you know, we just had her and time has flown by so fast, but the other side of me also just feels like she has just always been a part of my family, and I can't imagine life without her. She is just such a little gift, and I love spending every single day with her. I love being a mom. It has been just the best experience of my entire life. And she's just such a happy, fun little girl. We love having you. Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up this video. Like I said, leave any questions you have for me in the comments below, and please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!